Hello everyone, welcome back to Justin Low Stocks with another recap. I'll start off by saying last night there was a lot of volume back in the markets and there were a lot of different companies spiking. Haven't seen those sort of moves in a while. It's been pretty quiet the last 2 weeks in my opinion, but last night there was several gappers that went up over 50%. You can check it out on my photo that I put up on my Instagram, which is at JLOWE4. Yeah, there was 4 or 5 different companies that were gapping up over 50%, which is nuts. So the first trade I did was the one from the last trading session. I don't know if you remember. It was where I went short, but it sort of didn't have much volume. It held around the same area. Well, I was in it overnight, and then the market opened in the morning. So there's a lot of resistance here, as I said the previous day. So on this 1 minute candle, we'll go back to the opening of the market. So it opened up and it was around the same areas as it was the previous day, and I was short, so I wanted it to go down, and it did. It ended up cracking down, and I ended up covering my position at 484, which is where this arrow was, and that was a nice $100 profit from. It was overnight play, but yeah, it was a nice $100 profit. The next trade was SIEN. So this one, spiked in the morning. It was gapping up large again with a few other companies, and I saw it had broke out this previous resistance point. Now this was pre-market. The market opens here at 9:30, this line up here, but it had a nice consolidation during pre-market, so I knew that was a pretty reliable support there. So I saw it spike just before the open, and as soon as it opened, which is this green candle here was when it opened, and it just sold off. First 3 minutes it just sold off straight away from basically $16 down to $15.30, $15.40. And then, like I said in other sessions as well, often when it drops that quick during a short period of time, it will bounce. So, which is what we had here. It dropped to 15.30, bounced back up over another 4 minutes, back up to 15.78. And then I saw it turning around again. I was pretty confident to go short. I thought it would come back down. I knew it would come back down to around here, this support line. Whether or not it broke through, I wasn't sure about. You just have to wait and see on the price action. But I knew if it showed too much strength towards this resistance support line here, that I'd have to get out. And I saw it coming down, and it started turning around again. So I sold out and took my profit. Again, sorry I didn't mention it was a short position. So I shorted it in the first arrow, wanted it to come back down, took profits when it came lower at this level. That was only a 1% return, which isn't ideal, but it was still a return nonetheless. And then the third stock I traded last night was AMRH. So this stock was another spiker, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, it spiked up in the morning, opened over. It didn't really have much action pre-market. It didn't have much, but what we have seen is it's a bad long-term chart, right? So it's, as you can see, since basically the beginning of January, which is when it had this big day, would have been some news that came out. Since that first day in January, it's just been falling. It's had a few bounces here and there, but one thing to take note of is it had a bounce and it failed. It fell straight back down. Here it had a bounce and then it fell straight back down. Bounce, only a small one, it fell straight back down. So going off past price action, you can tell that this stock can't hold its gains that it makes. So when I saw this stock spiking, I knew it wasn't going to hold the levels that it spiked to. I saw this level right here at $1.70. So it's, as you can see, if you just draw a line, there's a lot of times it has been supported here, been sort of supported around here, and then once as I said last time, it then drops below that line of support. It then becomes resistance, and it has trouble breaking over that line, which is what we had here. And that's what I thought would happen here. I thought it would come up and it wouldn't be able to break that previous support line, which is now a resistance line, and that's exactly what happened. So I'll go back to the 1 minute chart. So it was spiking up. I knew it was spiking. I knew it wouldn't break the 170. I did. So what happens also is when stocks spike, and they spike over 10% within a 5-minute period, they go into a volatility halt, which is they basically stop trading the stock for 5 minutes. So you know, the price action doesn't blow out of proportion, and yeah, bad things happen. So it had a volatility halt, which was here. Normally when you open up from a volatility halt, when a stock's climbing, it will continue to go upwards, which it did so here. It came from $1.60 up to $1.70, but then it turned sharply and it came back down. Once it came back down, I thought, it's not showing any strength after it came out of the halt, I'll go short. I was lucky to have shares to borrow, so I went short here at $1.53, and it was dropping very quick. This is it within a minute. It went from $1.53 down to $1.41. So I covered my position there at $1.41, which was a lot better profit. That was 7% return, which is pretty good. And then again, as I said with just the last stock, I was expecting a bounce, which it did. Went from $1.38 back up to $1.52, and then I saw it turning around again. I thought it would continue down, so I went short again. That's where I entered here, $1.47. Came down here and it started turning around and coming back up, so I went, no, I'll just take my profit, keep it. And so I bought back at $1.40 the shares that I borrowed. So, and that was another 4.5% return. So that was my best trade of the last night. Hopefully we see momentum continue, because it was very quiet over the last few days. And yeah, hopefully we can make some good returns tomorrow night, and I shall make a video over the weekend with my recap of tonight's trades. So thanks very much for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content and you want more. Like and subscribe, which is down below, and follow me on Instagram if you want, JLOWE4. Yeah, so thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you over the weekend. Alright.